Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into something pretty cool, something that could really add a little extra oomph to your next event.
Ooh, oomph. I like that. What you got for us today?
Well, think trade shows, festivals, those kinds of events. And imagine if you could ditch those old school photo booths for something a little more, dynamic.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Less say cheese, more wow factor.
Exactly. We're diving into EmTech's vBooth, and let me tell you, this is way more than your grandma's photo booth.
All right, lay it on me. What makes this vBooth so special?
From what I've gathered, it's not a physical booth, really. It's more like software, and it can basically transform any screen, like seriously, any screen, a wall, even the floor, into this super cool interactive display.
Hold on, so no more squeezing into a tiny booth. We're talking full on, using the environment as the backdrop.
You got it. Think about it, like at a trade show, you could have a giant wall at your booth turned into a slideshow of, animated GIFs and boomerangs.
And I bet you can brand all that, right? Slap your logo on those GIFs, make it a whole experience.
Oh, absolutely. They've got tons of customization options. Custom stickers, frames, you name it. You can even create, whole themed backgrounds.
Smart move. I mean, in this day and age, you got to stand out, right?
Yeah.
And letting people personalize the experience, that's going to stick with them way more than a generic photo op.
Right. And the best part? It's designed to be super easy to use. No app downloads. You just scan a QR code and boom, you're in.
Yeah, got to keep things simple, especially at a busy event. And hey, contactless too, which is a big plus these days. Seems like they've thought of everything.
They really have. But okay, it can't be all practical. Got to be some fun in there. And from the looks of it, vBooth delivers. With those animated GIFs, boomerangs, I can see people getting super creative with those.
For sure. People love to share fun, engaging stuff, and honestly, this plays right into what we're seeing more and more of these days, user-generated content. It's becoming this super powerful marketing tool.
I never thought about it like that. But you're right, it's not just about capturing the moment. It's about amplifying it, sharing it. And speaking of sharing, they've also got this data collection feature. You can gather email addresses right then and there, which, let's be honest, is gold for marketers.
Definitely, but we've got to be careful with that, right? Transparency is key. Event planners need to be upfront about how they're using that data, make sure everyone's cool with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't just assume people are okay with handing over their info. It's on the event planners to handle all that responsibly.
Yeah.
But going back to the fun stuff, I was really impressed by the Dropbox and Google Drive integration.
Yeah, I saw that. Real-time photo downloads. People could print their pictures right there at the event.
Right. It's like a mini photo studio on the go.
Such a cool way to blend, the physical and digital worlds, right? Instant gratification and a keepsake to take home.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it seems like vBooth is pretty flexible when it comes to pricing. They've got monthly subscriptions, event add-ons, even custom asset creation if you want to go all out.
It's like they really get the event industry, right? You've got all these different needs and budgets, and they've got an option for everyone.
Okay, so based on everything we've seen so far, I'm feeling like vBooth could be a game changer. What's standing out to you the most?
Honestly, it's the way it manages to be both fun and, practical.
Right.
It taps into that desire for a fun, shareable experience, but it's also got all these tools for data collection, branding.
It's like the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the real question. How would you use vBooth to take your next event to the next level? What kind of interactive experience would you create?
That's a great question. And I think we should dive into some specific examples of how vBooth could be used, in different event settings. But first, let's take a quick.
Right. Picture this, a massive tech conference, right? Hundreds of booths, everyone trying to get noticed. How does vBooth help a company stand out in all that chaos?
Ooh, I love this. Okay, so instead of those boring static displays, imagine a booth with this huge screen, covering the whole wall.
I'm listening.
And that screen becomes like a dynamic canvas for user-generated content. Attendees snapping pics with the company's latest gadget, and boom, their reactions, their faces, instantly turned into animated GIFs, projected right there on the wall.
Whoa, that's next level. You're turning your booth into a living, breathing ad. It's eye-catching, it's engaging, and it uses social proof, People see others having a blast with your product. That's powerful stuff.
And while everyone's glued to the display, You're sneakily collecting those email addresses with vBooth's data collection feature.
Smart. So later, you can follow up with targeted messaging, turn those leads into customers.
Exactly. It's like entertainment and data capture all rolled into one. But we got to remember what we talked about earlier, that whole ethical thing. Companies need to use this data responsibly, be transparent about it.
Couldn't agree more. All right, let's switch gears. Imagine a music festival, right? Energy's high, the music's thumping, everyone's there to let loose. How could vBooth add to that experience?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, so imagine like designated vBooth zones scattered around the festival.
Okay, I'm following you.
And you step into one of these zones, and suddenly you're surrounded by this crazy, colorful projection, patterns and lights all over the place. The walls, the floor, even the trees.
Now that is a vibe.
Right. And since vBooth works on any device, everyone can instantly share their personalized festival moments on social media, like creating little mini music videos right there at the festival.
Genius. And think about the branding for the festival itself. You could have custom frames and overlays with the festival's logo, so it becomes this cohesive visual thing that goes beyond the event and lives on in the digital world.
It's like taking a piece of the festival home with you. And you know what else I love? The Dropbox and Google Drive integration. People could print out their favorite vBooth creations right then and there.
Love it. It's like a tangible souvenir, a reminder of that experience. We love physical keepsakes, even in this digital age.
And it's a great opportunity for sponsors, too. Imagine a brand sponsoring a vBooth zone, and they offer printed photos with their logo subtly included in the design.
Very clever. It's branding without being, in your face. But let's not forget about smaller events, those more intimate gatherings.
Oh, good point. Imagine a company holiday party. vBooth could capture all the fun, those moments between coworkers, and then they could even use it for internal comms later.
Exactly. It becomes a way to capture and celebrate company culture. That's what's so cool about vBooth. It's adaptable. You can use it for pretty much anything.
It really is more than a photo booth. It's a storytelling tool, a way to connect. It can transform a space, get people talking, and leave a lasting impression.
And the best part, the only limit is the event planner's imagination. They've got a powerful tool to create these truly unique and memorable events.
Sounds like vBooth's got a lot going for it.
Yeah.
But I am curious about that custom asset creation they mentioned. What's that all about?
So that's where they really go above and beyond. Like they actually have a whole service where they create custom frames, stickers, backgrounds, even animations, all tailored specifically to your event or brand.
So wait. Like, I could have a frame that's got my company's logo built right in, or stickers that play off the theme of our event.
Yep, exactly that. It's like personalization on steroids. And it's not just about making things look pretty, It's about really driving home your brand message in a way that's subtle, but still effective.
I can definitely see the appeal for companies who want to create that really cohesive and memorable brand experience. It's like taking the whole photo booth concept and turning it into like a legitimate marketing tool.
That's a great way to put it. It's taking something that's familiar and then like injecting it with tech and creativity to actually achieve specific goals. And you know what this reminds me of? This whole trend of experiential marketing.
Experiential marketing. I've heard the term, but I'm not sure I totally get it.
So basically, it's all about creating these immersive experiences, experiences that really connect with people on an emotional level. It's about going beyond those traditional ads and creating these memorable interactions that help people connect with your brand in a more meaningful way.
So vBooth kind of fits into that by giving people that platform for those interactions to happen.
Exactly. It gives people a reason to actually engage with your brand, to create content, to share their experience. And in a world where everyone's just bombarded with messages all the time, that kind of authentic engagement, that's gold.
I see how it all connects now. So vBooth isn't just this fun little add-on to an event. It's actually a strategic tool that can be used to achieve some pretty serious marketing and branding goals.
70%. And I think that's what makes it so exciting. It could totally change how we think about events and how we interact with brands, period.
We covered a lot today. From the nitty-gritty features to the big picture impact, vBooth seems like it's got a lot to offer.
Totally. And I think the key takeaway here is that it really does represent a shift in thinking. It's about moving away from the traditional, the static, and embracing the power of interactive experiences.
It's about creating those moments that people actually want to capture and share and remember. It's about making events more engaging, more meaningful, more human, really.
Beautifully put. Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into vBooth.
Agreed. But before we go, I want to leave our listeners with a little challenge. Imagine you're planning your next big event. What role does vBooth play in your vision? How are you going to use it to create something truly unique and memorable? What story are you going to tell?
Such a great question. The possibilities are like endless, and we can't wait to see how our listeners take this tech and make it their own.
Until next time, keep diving deep and stay curious.